The number two thing that you want to do is just review economic data on the day. Now, we always cover this pre-market. So this is not something that you have to do, right? We do it for you. But if you ever wanted to look at pre-market and look at what's going on there, you can go to any number of sites, from Forex Factory to economic calendars to all kinds of websites. I tell people to go to Trading Economics. It's free, and I'm going to give you free ones to look at. And all you're doing is learning for key events. And now the one thing that people will say to me is, I don't know what the key events are. And that's fine, but you're going to learn, or I'm going to drive you crazy. But what you would do is go, I only want the big key events. What I like about Trading Economics is that you go here and you just go, just show me the 1 star, 2 star, or 3 stars. And they'll tell you what the big events are for the whole month. They'll do it for a whole litany of time. You just go for this month. What are the big events? So you could literally click here and say, just tell me what I need to focus on for the month. And it will point them out to you and tell you exactly what the big ones are. Now, I personally think that the devil's in the details. I like watching the economic data pop out. You can change it by category, countries. You can change it by time frame. It doesn't matter. But all you're really doing with this, from our perspective, and we'll go back here and we'll just go recent, or we can go this week, and just look at this week and see how this all played out with JOLTS numbers, et cetera, et cetera. You can click on any of these to see, is it big, greater, or weaker than it was before, so that you can see exactly what's going on. It will tell you exactly what they are, so that you're ready for success, right? Very hard to miss. I will do this anyway in the pre-market. I would suggest that you read the pre-market newsletter every single day and you watch the pre-market video every single day. Even if you have to scan it, and even if the pre-market, you have to put it on double speed, I would strongly suggest that for the economic data and the top down of the market, that you watch those videos. But I would learn how to do this yourself as well, so that you have this and you are prepped for it. Okay? The other thing that I would do is news. Literally write down what the big news events were in the day. And this is going to be number 3, but you want to keep this, and I'm going to get into this in a little bit more on one of the other points called pre-market game plan. What you want to do, what you really want to do, is put yourself into a position, okay? Put yourself into a position where it's in your own handwriting and you're writing down Jensen killed quantum names, and then it's in your handwriting, or Estee Lauder buyout rumor, and it's in your own handwriting, whatever you say it, or non-farm payrolls was gross, whatever it is, and it's just 2-3 seconds in a book. I tell everybody to get a book. Everybody, just go to moleskin.com, get a book, no binder. I don't like the binder because I'm left-handed. And literally, that is your stock market book where you only write 2 things in it: your pre-market game plan and your post-market game plan and review. I'm going to get to that later, but you want to jot these things down. You want to jot down what the top news events were on the day. Just have them down and then go and look at it. California fires, these names, and we'll get to why you're doing that in a bit, okay? But it's really important. Top news analysis, we go over every day, but having a book where you're jotting it down in your own handwriting, super important. Keep it by your trading desk, right? In a pen, not a keyboard, not notes like that. Most people will tell you that. You don't want that. You want it in your own handwriting. And there's reasons for that. We'll get to it. Once that's done and you've got your top-down approach, okay, and I will answer questions after this. What you want to do after you have a top-down approach, okay, you look at your indexes, your sectors, you have the economic data, you know what the top news is for the day. You want to know, are there any conferences or any investment banking statements on the day or any investor days? And people will say, how am I supposed to go out there and find that? How would I know that? All right, so I'm going to give you a free site that you can go to any day and you can go and look at this yourself. All right, and so Market Chameleon has a free site. I'm sure there's others. I'm just going to show you this one. I have no affiliation with this company whatsoever, but they do a really good job of just breaking it down, and I'll show you how to use it. So what you're looking at here are company activities and public events. Now, this is January 10th. So if you want to know what's going on and who's presenting at CES, for example, this will tell you. It'll list every single company that has an event that day. I'm sure they miss 1 or 2, okay? You can also go to fdatracker.com and go look at when FDA sites or companies that have things in front of the FDA are coming up. Sometimes this will have it, but FDA Tracker does a better job of that if you're interested in biotech. This takes you a total of 10 seconds once you know where to go. And just go, okay, what's coming out today? CES, is it still on? Let's go look at that event and see who's presenting at it. All you're doing is clicking right here. Okay, they're presenting. All right, great. And you're going through it. Or you see a name move and you're not sure why it moved, right? And then you're like, oh, Taiwan Semi has their monthly sales coming out on the 10th. Oh, okay, that's good to know. So there's data in here. And when something's moving, instead of guessing why it's moving, you can also sort by symbol. This will tell you exactly why you're moving. Okay. This tells you exactly why you're moving and when you're moving and things like that. It tells you everything that you really want to know. So I can't be any clearer that this is extremely helpful, and it's free. Like, go on the 13th. Okay. And then you click here. For example, we're coming up on the 13th on Monday. Okay. NVIDIA's at the JP Morgan Healthcare Conference. Microsoft is there. They're presenting they tell you what time they're presenting at. And so you can literally go through this and click these and see who's at what event where. So if the names actually moved, or if it was a name that you were interested in, there's 180 names in here. So you have to understand, like, you have to do your due diligence to some extent. You can't watch all of them, but you sort by alphabetical order. And if there's a name that you're interested in, then you would go and take a look here. If you see a name in pre-market that's moving, and we're going to get to that next, market activity review, and you can't find a reason why it's moving, you might want to go to this and see, is it in here? Are they speaking at a healthcare conference? Like if you saw like AVO, for example, move, you're like, oh, well, they're at this conference. They must have had positive news at 2:00 today. Okay. This is huge in helping you identify what's going on and what you need to pay attention to. So, because you never know when something's going to move or why it's important. But if APLS is speaking at the JP Morgan Healthcare Conference at 12:45 and you see it move and it was a name you were interested in, you know, and you can just go through them. You don't have to spend a lot of time with it, but it's very helpful to do. So again, top-down indexes sectors, you're looking at the economic data, you're reviewing a news analysis, and you're putting that in your own handwriting, and you're looking at investment banking conferences and investor days. All right. I could get into how you could do this for the week, but we're just going to do what you should be doing pre-market and then going from there. Once that's done and you have that done, you can just go to earnings. All right. And then look at earnings on the day. Now, earnings on the day, very simply, you just go to earningswhisper.com or type earningswhisper.com into any site whatsoever. Go to Google, click earnings calendar, and the whole thing will pop up for you. And I can just show you that in a second here. And a really simple way to do it. Let me just go to that site and then we'll go from there. And I'll show you what I like to do with it is just literally, here, I'll just share this tab. You just click on it and type in Earnings Whisper, and it will type in any of these that they have in Google. You can just click on these links and it will open this stuff right up for you and tell you who's coming out when. And then you can dive into that and go from there, and you can pull this all up yourself. All right. And what's important about this is they just look real quick. Oh, well, KBH is coming out this morning, AEHR, Monday night. So, okay, I need to watch these Monday night. Now, we do go over all this stuff, a lot of this stuff in the week ahead video, but this is a real quick way for a refresher. And this is always in the pre-market newsletter as well. But if you're trying to figure out how I'm doing it, this is how I'm doing it. Okay. And this is how I would do it. So we're up to 6 things so far in the morning, but these are simple things that are like, they are clicks. This whole list, once you're prepped, should take you 10, 15 minutes a morning. After this, one of the things that I tend to do that I find very helpful is option market insight. And what you're doing, here, I'll show you the tab. So this is Market Chameleon again, and this Market Chameleon data is all free. Okay. And what you're doing with this data is really simple. When you look at this data, all you're trying to do is figure out what are they buying and what are they selling. It's unusual options, and it's right up in here that you just click on this stuff. It's all right here is unusual option activity. It's free. You can literally go here and click unusual option volume. That's it. That's all you have to do. All the things that I'm showing you are free sites, okay, that you can use. All right. And then what you're doing here on this site is you're just going, well, what are the top 3? You know what? This is just their main. Apple, AMD. Well, that's odd. AMD is usually not on there. Now, iShares, Walgreens, Rigetti, Snap, like all of a sudden you're like, well, geez, these names aren't on here usually. And then it shows you the average volume and then the volume that they've done. And then after that, it will show you the relative volume over a 90-day period. This is over 90 days. So when you see something that's like out of whack, for example, like PCG, and you're trading all this volume and it's 27 times relative volume, well, that might be of interest. Or if you're saying the China bull market fund 25 times relative volume, that might be of interest. You might want to go, oh, hey, I wonder what's going on there. Something's obviously happening. I want to pay attention to that. Now, one quick tip with this, you can also just click from main to this volume side. And when you do, it'll tell you the market cap of the company. But more importantly, it's going to tell you over here, calls and puts, percentages. Now, what you want to find are the weird things. And by weird things, you're going, oh, well, Apple calls and puts, they're pretty similar. But if you looked here and saw Meta, you'd be, oh, well, you're 2 to 1 roughly. Or you'll find like these really ones that you don't usually see, like Delta's 2 to 1. Or you'll find ones like XBI. Okay, they're definitely buying more puts than they are calls. Well, someone thinks biotech's going to get smoked because that's what they're doing. Doesn't mean they're right, but this is what's happening, right? Or I'm looking at medical properties trust and someone's buying way more puts than they are calls. Someone thinks it's going to get smoked, right? There's only one reason why that would happen. Okay. Calls are the same way, but if you're seeing puts, they're buying protection. And then you might see something like Archer in here and go, oh, that's interesting. And then look at the fact that that's a lot of calls versus a lot of puts. They'll do the percentages here, but looking at the dollar figures to me is helpful. Some people don't really care about the options. I'm not saying it to trade from an options perspective, but what this will do for you is like you'll start understanding things. Like, for example, if you see AMD here and Silver here and Walgreens here and Rigetti here and Snap, well, then all of a sudden, and we'll click back to this now, and I'll show you this. So if you click back to this, and then all of a sudden, if you're looking at AMD Monday or Tuesday, and you start to see it hold like a support level, like here, if this wasn't on your radar, and all of a sudden it starts holding here, you're being like, oh yeah, well, there was a ton of call buying the other day. Or you're watching Snap all of a sudden, and you're seeing all these, and you're seeing the action in it, and you're seeing the calls being bought. You're like, yeah, that does make sense. We saw a lot of call option coming in there, okay? Or RGTI, like, oh yeah, we did see some call buying. Maybe that's going to hold. All of a sudden, this changes everything because now you have another data point that you can use. And that's what's important about it. You could be looking at XBI and thinking about, oh, I'm going to buy some biotechs down here. And you're like, well, wait a minute. Someone is buying the living heck out of biotech puts right now. Do I really want to buy that biotech name? And that might get you here. Like that little data point, that nugget might get you here realizing that biotech XBI just closed at almost a 52-week low versus this little segment that's still sitting here, that you're almost at 52-week lows. And that might kick off the idea that you might want to go and look at LABD and go, oh, geez, that's breaking out. And now you just found an idea that wasn't even on your radar. Okay, all by looking at the option trades, right? Again, the faster that it's going to work, no idea why that happened. The faster that you'll be able to process this. Now, a lot of us have trading platforms that show us the ability of pre-market, post-market, and what's going on and the most active names out there. But you need to look at that every single day. You want to look at the pre and the post is something else that you want to process. So when we look at something like when you look at something like pre-market, I can do it on here. I can also do it on a site called Bar Charts. Again, I have no affiliation. I'm just trying to give you free links that you can go to. So if you look at pre-market right here, all I did was just go pre-market most actives. And this will show you the most active volume leaders, price action, volume advancing, whatever. But just for the market in the morning, you're just going, oh, okay, this name is up X. These are the most active names. These ads are just insane. And then kind of go from there. Usually these are lower names, but sometimes you'll see like a NVIDIA in there, something like that. Some of these names will start populating, or you'll see something just like stick out to you, and then you can kind of drill into it from there, CIM, whatever. But the point that I'm getting at here is it's a great way to do this if you're looking for another spot to see some of these other names and what's going on with them. What I would strongly suggest that you do is use the platform that you're already using, because by using that platform, you just get more comfortable with it. So in this case, people will know that I do this every single morning. But what you do is for TradingView, just go to the heat map, click on stocks. And then what I want to do is just look at performance pre-market. So I go to pre-market change and I want to look at volume. And then I will just sort up here by what I'm looking for. And I'm always looking for the extremes. I want to see the extremes. So WBA was an extreme, CEG, PCG, and they're showing you where this was in the morning. So that morning, I can do this step, okay? And after I do this step, all I need to do with it is then overlay this step, right, into part one, which was top-down approach, meaning, oh, okay, I'm interested in PLTR. I really like that name. I want to buy it. Now, after that, what I would do is I would just go here before the market opened, and I would mark off some key levels. Now, you could mark them off by pre or post, but I would do that for sure and go, where's my low on the pre-market? Oh, it's right here. Where's my high on the pre-market? Oh, it's here. Okay, so this is a name that's extremely active today. I want to watch that low on the pre-market, and I want to watch that high on the pre-market. So for the people that just did this process that I'm talking about, I just picked this name randomly, but here's the low of the day. So if you were looking there for some kind of turn to buy, there it was. If you were looking for your target, which would have been the high of the pre-market or the high of the day, you're right there. And if you set alerts at these, you would see them. And then you could act on them. You can have other targets as well too, but you want to put these on wherever your targets are because you want to get out into your targets. So you're putting alerts there, just like we talked about earlier. You're just going there and hitting that button, boop, and going from there. Same thing down here. And that's pretty much it. Boop. And then it's done. Okay. What's this doing? It's allowing you to get on with your day. And you've completely forgotten about it. And around 11 o'clock, you get a little alert, and next thing you know, you're looking at this name going, well, we undercut, and now we're sitting here, and maybe it's going to hold, undercut, right? And you're watching it, tests, bounces, maybe you're buying that bar, maybe you're not, whatever. But I know this much, if you don't prep, you don't have the opportunity. So instead of saying, why is it doing X, why is it doing Y, you're setting up a process where you could make money.